I've said this before, but I look forward to the day that the Catholic Church is going to raise to the altars of sainthood people
Hmm.
who've experienced same-sex attractions. And I think it's going to be people like you that, when you say I'm not gay, I love the point you make. Like you're not dismissing or denying your attractions. You are realizing them. You're in a sense accepting of the fact that they're a reality, that they're a part of your human experience, but they're not who you are at your depth. And so it's not a rejection of your identity. If anything, it's giving you permission to embrace the deepest truth about your identity, which is that what you are is loved. What you are is a son of the Father. What you are is not our sexual attractions. I mean, that's a part of, who we are, but I kind of say like, if you're a book, that's on page 57. It's not the cover story. It's a part of the human experience. It's funny when I was listening to your kind of YouTube testimony, and then the next day I was reading part of the life of Saint Faustina. And one of the things that she said just struck me of the parallel between her story and yours. And I'm just going to read this paragraph from her. She says, the 18th year of my life, an earnest appeal to my parents for permission to enter the convent. My parents' flat refusal. So the parents said, no, you're not going to convent. And she said, after this refusal, I turned myself over to the vain things of life, paying no attention to the call of grace, although my soul found no satisfaction in any of these things. The incessant call of grace caused me much anguish. I tried, however, to stifle it with amusements. Interiorly, I shunned God, turning with all my heart to creatures. However, God's grace won out in my soul. And God appeared to her actually during a party, like in a vision. Christ appeared to her stripped of his garments, scourged and bloody. And he says to her, how long shall I put up with you? And how long will you keep putting me off? And so to me, that echoes the word that was given to you of like, time is running out. Not necessarily time's running out on you, you're going to die next week, but it's like time is running out on culture. Like
Yeah.
your message is so needed. The harvest, the Gospel of John says, is white. It's leukai. In the Greek, a lot of people translate it as like the harvest is ripe. No, like when the harvest is right, it's kind of like, I guess, like a golden yellowish brown color and you can go get it. But when the harvest actually turns leukai or white, it means you're about to lose the entire crop unless you go harvest it immediately. That's how much urgency is going on. And so I think your message of just, hey, what's your identity? That's the critical piece that's so missing. And so maybe speak to that of like, you look at people who are trying to help people who experience same-sex attractions like the gay straight alliances. I presume the goodness of people's hearts that like there's individuals in these public schools who love young people and say, hey, this kid's getting bullied, this kid's getting rejected, he's been kicked to the curb by his own family, maybe by his own faith community, and maybe we can create a safe space on campus where he can just find acceptance and find love. And in the midst of all those good intentions, what ends up happening is they inadvertently get these people to identify with their attractions instead of merely giving them love and compassion in the midst of them. So maybe speak to that. Like, what is the harm that could be caused by a gay straight alliance? I mean, don't we want alliances? I mean, it almost kind of, the title implies that they're adversaries, right? And we just
Yeah.
need to get along. It's like, well, no, don't make us think that we hate each other because we really don't. I mean, granted, some people do experience some really unjust bigotry and hatred, but maybe speak to how disorienting, in a sense, the gay straight alliance was to you in this path of self-discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, at least at my high school, it's particularly the Gay Straight Alliance Club that I was a part of. It's very rooted on, I guess as you would call it, a secular mindset or viewpoint perspective on this topic. So when you go in there, the whole intention is this is a safe space, inclusivity, be whoever you are, do whatever you want, et cetera, et cetera. You're loved. It's kind of that false idea of love that it's not that there isn't love there, because as you said, I think a lot of their intentions are good. And a lot of those people that were in that room with me did, how would I say this? They willed my good, but not in the fullest sense. That they wanted me to be happy, but they didn't understand that happiness was found in Jesus and the freedom found in his truth. So there's that desire for someone to be fulfilled in life, to experience happiness, but it's not ordered entirely towards, the fullness that we know in Christ. So those Gay Straight Alliance clubs, at least the one that I was in, it was very much a place where you can talk about your relationships with people of the same sex. There were also transgender people in that room as well. So there were people who could talk about the way that they were experiencing, maybe like gender confusion or gender dysphoria. And I actually found what's interesting, because nobody's ever asked me this question, reflecting on it right now. One thing in particular that was very common in that actually was talking about the bullying or the like quote unquote intolerance that you would experience. And so I think kind of reflecting onto, now us as Catholics in the church, it shows, as you said, that, how we can we need to create a safe space, in the sense of we need these people to know that they're loved and affirm them in their identity as beloved sons and daughters, because that is so lost. And I think that is why so many of those people, including myself when I was a teenager, flocked to these alliance clubs and to these, the LGBT plus communities, because, I will say the one thing I think that the LGBT community does a great job at is making people feel welcome, that it doesn't matter what you're doing, where you're at in life, they embrace you where you're at. And not that, is entirely, we need to kind of there's a fine line between embracing people where they're at and letting them stay there. But at the same time, I think within the church, we need to be able to deliver truth while also following the entirety of church teaching, CCC 2357 through 2359, which is no unjust discrimination towards the end of it. No unjust discrimination. Homosexual persons should be welcomed with compassion. Just that emphasis on like, yes, this is truth. We need to inform them of this, and we need to uphold this, but also we need to be willing to accompany people, because at the end of the day, these are people. This is a cross. This is not a little cross. It is something that affects a lot of different facets of our life. But at the same time, so we can't treat this lightly. We have to recognize that this is a heavy cross to carry, and we have to be willing to walk with those people and accompany them on their journey, not just tell them this is church teaching, have fun. Like, you can never be in a relationship with someone of the same sex. Sorry, go love the Lord. It's like, okay, like that's not enough. We have to be willing to sit with these people, be their friends, just show them the love of the Father, because community is so crucial. And I think that's why, tying back to the question, so many of the gay straight alliances are even sought out, is because it's just community. They just want to have people that they can talk to and just say, this is what I'm going through. My parents don't get it. My church doesn't get it, but at least someone will listen. So we need to have that open ear for those people, and be able to just set the table so that we can eat with the sinners just as Jesus did. So yeah.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that little clip, but if you want to see the whole episode where this came from, just click the link here. And in the meantime, we want to invite you to help us share this message, and there's a couple things you can do real quick. Number one, if you like or comment or share this video, YouTube will actually show it to more people. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. We release videos every single day, and you'll be notified as soon as those come out. If you want to help us also to spread this message, you can support us at patreon.com/Jason Evert. That helps us to create these videos and show them to the whole world. God bless.